What's up, YouTube? Today I got this 2016 Cadillac SRX. Customers complaining of a moan inside when driving. When I test drove it, I isolated it as being the left front bearing, and the best way to tell, if you can't tell, is when you pull it in the shop and put it on the rack. With the wheel on the car still, just spin the wheel and put your hand right there on the strut area. And while you're spinning the wheel, you're going to feel roughness vibrate or transfer throughout the strut right here. Go back and forth to both sides, and whatever side feels the roughest, it's going to be that side. Now, if both sides feel rough, it's going to be both bearings. But you'll know, because you'll feel a big difference in the way the vibration feels through the strut. Anyways, enough talk. I got the bearing already. I'm about to get off soon, so let's get this done so I can go home. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe so I can continue to make videos like this to make your life easier. But let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is get this caliper out of our way. And I think it's an 18 millimeter on the back side of these bolts. Two bolts right here. These are going to be pretty tight because they use Loctite on them. And pull those out. Now just wiggle your caliper off. Kind of let it sit there and hang. Now we're going to get this rotor out of our way. But you got to take the hold down bolt off the rotor. It's a T30. Now if your rotor doesn't come right off, just take a hammer. Now on the corner, hit it. Don't hit it on the surface, just hit it on the corner. Because the brake pads don't even make contact with the corner right there. If you notice that rust right there, little rust ring, because the pads don't touch that area. Try not to hit it on the surface because you'll leave big old dents. If you hit it lightly, you won't, but you have to hit it kind of hard. All right, now that we get that rotor out of our way and caliper out of our way, y'all know me, I take the ABS sensor out of the way. Even if you think you can get around it, just get it out of your way. I can't tell you, I've damaged a few over my career, and you would be surprised how much some of these sensors cost. And I can't tell you how many of them I've had a special order too, because a lot of people don't keep them in stock. 10 millimeter socket for the bolt. Just gonna kind of lay that out of my way there. Alright, now we're going to take this axle nut off, and that's the 32 millimeter. Just hold your hub from turning. Kind of push your axle through. If the axle don't push with your fingers because it's got a little rust on it, just thread your nut a couple turns and just tap it. Now the best thing to do is to thread it on backwards if you can. A few turns and hit it. Because you can mushroom that and mess that up and not be able to, or when you're bolting it back down, it could tear up the threads on the axle. Most of the time, though, they'll push right through like I'm doing right there. You ain't got to pull it all the way out. We just push it enough to where we can get on the back side of these bolts right here on the hub assembly itself. And that's going to be an 18 millimeter also. Let's see if we can get the 1/2 inch in there. Yeah. Probably throw an extension on it. A little 3-incher here. I'm going to take out this 2 first before I turn the wheel. All right. Now we're going to turn the wheel to get to that last bolt. Make sure you leave your key in the accessory position so the steering wheel don't lock. All right, we got one more right here. Go ahead and flip that to the tightening position. Alright, this should come right off now. Catch your backing plate, it's going to fall. Kind of let that hang there. Oh yeah, that's rough. Just toss that in the mess over there. Now on this one, the ABS sensor is built into the bearing. You can put those on the opposite way. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, and I promise a lot of techs have done that. There's some kind of spacer here. So what I'm going to do, bend that just a little bit. Alright. Make sure you have your axle straight. There it goes. And little, I guess it's some kind of little dust cover or shim or something, I don't know, but just put it back. You should push yourself in whenever you're tightening the bearing down. Just line up your holes. Grab one of your bolts, don't matter what position they go in because they're all the same. Keep turning that, making sure that the backing plate's lined up too with the hole. Kind of wiggle it back and forth like that. Now we can get it started. Let's see if I can get these started without turning the wheel. You don't want to start tightening them all the way down until you get them all started. Alright. They're all started, a few threads. Let's go ahead and tighten. Alright. That's a lot harder to turn with the wheel off. Let's tighten this bottom one first. Now if you're trying to torque these, y'all know I don't torque. I torque cylinder heads and wheels. I've been doing this for 25 years. I know the threshold on tightening bolts. So, but if you're going to torque them, I would say at least 150 foot-pounds. Go ahead and put your axle nut on. Go ahead and tighten that down. Once it stops, just give it another quarter turn. Alright, let's go ahead and put our ABS sensor back in. lightly snug that. That sensor's plastic. Okay. Heat shield didn't get bent, so it don't scrub the rotor. Alright, now we can put our rotor back on. Line that hole up. Put this hole on the rotor. Grab your T30. Lightly snug that down. Alright, last but not least, put our caliper back on. Make sure your brake pads didn't slip any. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. All right, for the grand finale. Now we don't need the extension on those. All right, that's simple, y'all. Turn your wheel straight, put your wheel back on, torque her down. This one's 150 on the torque. Now if you're going to torque these bolts on the, you feel like you need to torque these bolts on the bearing, I'd say 150, and probably the caliper too would be close or safe at 150. So, now if you want to know the exact specs, you can look online yourself. You got a good breaker bar, just give them that good old oomph. This big southpaw right here, that's how I do it, y'all. Anyway, any rate, it's time for me to go home. I'm going to put this wheel back on, take it for a test drive, and it's time to clock out. I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all found it informative. Y'all please subscribe, check like down below. Have a good day. Peace out.